Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Robert versus Sombra in round 1 of the 4th Asia Pacific tournament. So moving on to a new tournament today, again hosted by Prodos Soccer, so big thanks to him. This one is a bit different to the other Asia Pacific tournaments we've covered in the past. In this one, each player can only use one division throughout the entire tournament, and Sombra here repping the 716th. Yes, my man. And then on the other side we have Robert with the 1st Panzerner. This is Caumont Levant, and yeah, these should be some awesome games. I am going to be pushing for 2 Steel Division videos a day now that the war game series has finished. That's most days, not every day, because of course I will want to mix in other content. I'm going to be mixing in, of course, Heroes and Generals, Day of Infamy. There is also going to be maybe some War Thunder videos coming out and stuff like that. So loads of stuff to look forward to, maybe like odd war game videos here and there, like multiplayer games or more Private Purgatory with Firestarter. Lots of juicy stuff coming your way. So make sure you check out all of those videos. They're all very good fun, and I have a lot of fun making them, and I think you guys would have a lot of fun watching them. So make sure you go check them all out. Either way, today we have, let's see what we have down. There is going to be a Cromwell 6 at the start. That is a rather ambitious start there from the 1st Panzerner. It's relatively normal to have that, but let's see what he's accompanying it with. 3 rifle squads there. He's got a command carrier with the command infantry and also some recon. For the bottom side, it's going to be 2 units of rifles with the recon there and the command carrier. And then there's also a 6-pound heading to those bottom side. So those are Streltsy, not rifles as such, but there we go. On the other side, Sombra going to be rolling out with the Fusiliers on the top side. Pack 36 I would expect. Also a Osttruppen squad up there, 2 Osttruppen further down with another AT gun, although that's with the Opel Blitz, so that's most likely to be the Pack 40 at the start. Then we have the Osttruppen there, that's another Fusilier, and on the bottom side we have Fusiliers, Osttruppen, Command Infantry, Mortar and AT. Interesting. So it looks like much more concentration down the bottom side for the infantry. Makes sense because there's these 2 forest areas down here, and often this can be a big point of contention on this map. I really like Caumont Levant for 1v1. I think it's a really nice map which has lots of different styles of terrain, but this center area definitely can cause issues for either player based on how they decide to play around that. I really like the choice of the Cromwell 6 for this top side, actually, considering the more open areas up here. So he can either use it by putting it to the top of the map, take advantage of that range to push into this tree area, or all the way up to the top here, or he could bring it towards the mid, where it can very easily take on AT guns. But Sombra is going to have that covered with a Pack 40, going to be getting that into this hedgerow, so that they can cover the mid, and that'll be quite nice. So Pack 37 going to be unloading on the bottom side, and they are Pack 37, sorry, not Pack 36s like I said before. Then we have this Pack 40 now opening up onto Streltsy. So it looks like Robert wanted to maybe try and contest this town area early on, but Sombra got the Osttruppen in there very quickly indeed. We see the Pack 37 being pinned down here by the Cromwell 6. Doesn't quite get killed off yet since the Pack 37 found itself pinned down, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cromwell sort of be purposefully targeted there, and that it was. So that's going to be an AT gun down. Saves the Morris LRC here, and the Fusiliers are under a lot of fire. But I mean, a lot of these Streltsy have found themselves pinned down. Now this Morris LRC is not very often you see one of these. Look at that box. That's incredible. So yeah, the reason you don't is because this Bren gun really struggles to pin stuff down. So although this Osttruppen is almost constantly under fire, he really doesn't care. And the fact that that is a disheartened squad as well makes you realise just how bad that suppression is. Either way, Sombra are going to be pushing pretty hard actually through this forest area. Going to be using the Ostroupen in combination with the mortar to like surrender units or maybe just make them fall back, and I like that a lot. It's a very efficient way to use cheap infantry. For the centre, Fusiliers are going to find the Zwiadowsi. They're going to be fired upon by the machine gun from both the Ostroupen and the Fusiliers. Fusiliers have found themselves pinned down on this top side, but the Ostroupen really sort of helping out there. Panzer B2, however, is on the way. And if that can get into a decent range onto the Cromwell 7, then we may find there is a kill that occurs there. This B2 currently going to be taking on the Chelsea. It does have the 9HE howitzer, so we'll be able to take advantage of that. Now a second Cromwell 6 has been brought in, and I like Herr Robert here. You can see he's put a fire position command just short of the Pack 40, so the Pack 40 doesn't have the chance to fire back. Very smart indeed. And if he can still see that, then he can try and target it directly after. However, the Zwiadowsi I don't think are spotting it any longer, so Herr Robert is kind of just guessing at the moment. And we did see Herr Robert buying a Hurricane. It popped up on the bottom left for a little bit, so we might see that come in at some point. But meanwhile, on this top side, it's going to be up to Sombra to get this B2 close enough to the Cromwell 6 to force it back. Now that shot from the Cromwell 6 there did unload the Grenführer and the Pack 37. Now Pack 37 in a really, really bad spot now in regards to that Cromwell 6, but does get the transmission damage on the Morris LSE, which is going to stop that from rushing down the B2 and trying to get a kill at close range. Hurricane Mark 4 comes in for the strafing run onto the Pack 40. Cromwell 6 also trying to do the job there, but that's now helping out with the attack onto this infantry. Sombra definitely taking a lot of punishment across the board with this advance from the rifles covered by these Cromwell 6s. It's a very strong combination, but now 2 Hurricanes going to be coming in, 2 Cromwell 6s on target, definitely going to be making this B2 fall back. Won't necessarily get the kill, but going to be taking that out of action for the time being. There is an 88 on the way. Interesting choice indeed. That has the potential to be beat on pretty hard by the Cromwell 6s, but we'll have to wait and see if that happens. There's actually a very good opportunity that this 88 can one-shot the Cromwell 6s, but in this case the Flak 88 actually going to be unloaded early, which I kind of like, because using the 88s as AA in this case is, I think, a lot more efficient than necessarily using them to take on ground forces. Anyway, you can see the mortar coming into play here. You just use the 50mm mortar with its high rate of fire to pin down the infantry squads you come up against and then run them down with your Ostroupen. It's a really, really nice job there. It's currently 50-50 across the board. There is 185 points in favour of Herr Robert, but that's mainly due to the salient that's occurred due to these Ostroupen. That may fall away though as these Streltsy recover. On this top side, Ostroupen and Grenführer doing okay. This Fusilier is perfectly okay as well, and these Ostroupen certainly causing issues. I mean, think about how long these guys have been here. Considering the fire support that Herr Robert has, I'm surprised that this has not been surrendered yet. Like a Morris LRC at this point would actually be quite welcome just to drive through that town and make things surrender. But yeah, I'm not really convinced about the Morris LRC pickup. I think you can get Staghounds with the first Panzer, and that probably would have been a much better choice rather than investing in these Morris LRCs, which are 45 points for really not much firepower. So the Pack 40 finally going to go down to the Cromwell 6. We can see the IG-18 there. That's going to be engaging some of the infantry in the open, but the Cromwell 6 should easily take care of that. And we also see the B2 here. That's still taking punishment from the Cromwell 6 on the top side and still struggling to penetrate at max range, which is likely to happen, or unlikely to happen, because 7 HE or AP versus 7 armor. Yeah, you do the maths. Not much penetration there at all. The 88 has been pulled a little bit further up. I like the way that Sombra's reused the SDKF Z7 to pull that 88 a bit further. But whether or not that actually finds a shot on the Cromwell 6 remains to be seen, and honestly, Robert could just micro like he's done before, fire position the AT8 and take it out very easily, and that's going to be like 135 points down the drain, or 140 points down the drain if he kills the SDKFZ7 as well. So here we go. Yep, Cromwell 6 going to be opening up, and you can see that the AT8's already going to be pinned down, and when it's pinned down, the SDKFZ can't pick it up again. So yeah, that's put him in trouble there. But this Pak-37 sneaking into this tree line is quite nice. Might be able to find a penetrating shot onto the Cromwell 6 that's falling back at least. And with a second B2 on the way, maybe he can break down some of these Cromwell 6s. On this bottom side, Fusiliers and Osttruppen, just using that little combination there to find units and take them down with their machine gun support. It's going quite well. The thing is with these Osttruppen is they are really good for holding ground, but they're not very good for taking ground, since they don't have very high lethality, and that's a pretty big deal. So they really require the assistance of B2s, for example. But absolutely fantastic here that Sombra chose the 716th to go all the way through the tournament with. Robert picking a more standard choice in my opinion. The 1st Panzer, of course, a rather consistent division in 1v1. So Osttruppen there taking on the Streltsy. We have Osttruppen here taking on those Streltsy. Just infantry engagements down the bottom. The excitement's all up here on the top at the moment. Cromwell 5 has arrived, and that is a 2-star Cromwell 5. That is going to do a lot of damage to these B2s, and there is really not much to stop that. Going to have its driver knocked out. Pak-37 is opening up. Sombra really needs to get these B2s to work. Oh, that's a nice kill. Pak-37 takes out the Cromwell 5. That's going to really put the pain onto Herr Robert here as he brings in a 3rd Cromwell 6. Wow. A very nice kill there from Sombra. Definitely relieves the pressure onto the B2s. That B2 not really going to be going anywhere anymore though, with the track wheel damage. It's already slow enough as it is, but now with that critical, it's going to not get much easier. B2 still trying to engage the Cromwell 6 at max range. Again, the penetration value is just not very high. AT8 is still alive. I'd like to see this SDKFZ come and pick up the AT8 and just transport it back a bit. Get it out of line of sight, direct line of sight, just keep using it for AA. I think that's a really good choice. Of course, it's okay for helping clean up some of this Streltsy on the ground, so maybe that'd be a reason to keep it in the open. But with the amount of Cromwell 6s on the field right now, I'm not sure I'd be so comfortable with that. That AT8's already ran the gauntlet and managed to survive. So Osttruppen here, they can't really push forwards and take these surrenders because obviously there's 2 Cromwell 6s, so I understand why those Osttruppen aren't pushing there. Ooh, we see eventually a B2 goes down to the Cromwell 6 there. A very nice kill. It can only take so much punishment, and there you go. B2 goes down to a Cromwell 6. Either way, Osttruppen did manage to take the ground on this bottom side. You can see them continuing to push. This is still a 50-50. But with Herr Robert 383 points ahead at this point, it does make things relatively difficult for Sombra to come back. So the thing is with the 716th, it's very hard to be aggressive. And I know there is one other player, I think, using the 716th from the start of the tournament. So we'll have to see how they get on. I'm not going to quite reveal who it is just yet. But either way, I do enjoy seeing the 716th in competitive play, but you can see it definitely does struggle against divisions like the 1st Panzer that I would probably call it almost direct counter due to Cromwell 6s being a thing. Like any 1200 meter range HE in phase A or B just hard counters the 716th so damn hard because they can deal with the Pak-40 easily and the 88s easily, and those are the only things that can really kill any armor. So that's basically how it is. It's very hard to deal with, and getting these Pak-37s into position is also very difficult. Of course, you could maybe use smoke in order to do so, But in general, yeah, I don't really see these Pak 37s get much success. We did see one kill on the top side, but yeah, at the moment, things not looking particularly great across the board for Sombra as Herr Robert continues to come in reinforcements, continues to strafe with the Hurricane Mark IV. And yeah, what can Sombra do at this point? Well, the 150mm Panzerhaubitze Lorraine has been brought in, and that is going to be starting to try and hit some of this infantry in order to pin it down and maybe force surrenders. So Sombra's getting aggressive here. I like that. Also, these Panzerhaubitze Lorraines can be used to hit the Cromwell 6s at distance in order to help force them back. But honestly, Panzerhaubitzes against the 1st Panzerner, especially the style that Herr Robert is playing, isn't super effective, since, you know, there's just a lot of infantry spread out, and these Cromwell 6s don't take much from Panzerhaubitzes. Sombra there, getting a shot off. Track wheel destroyed onto the Cromwell 6. Might leave it exposed to some AT at some point, but would have been more ideal to get the kill there. I like the choice of the HS-129, especially seeing that the Hurricane had just used up all its fuel and ammunition. It's going to be out of commission for a little while, so can take advantage of that time in order to get these shots off. Coming around for a second run might be a little bit greedy here. I'll have to wait and see. If you can get the kill, if they can get the kill and get out, then that's nice. Yeah, armor penetrate, nice, good job. But Hurricane on its way. I think the HS-129 should be safe. These Hurricanes aren't really fast enough to catch up. So on this bottom side, things have kind of fallen in favour of Herr Robert. The Superzi have arrived, and they are now pushing the Ostrupen, Grenfjord, all of this stuff out of the forest. It looks like Sombra's just going to end up sacrificing this mortar. Not much time for that to run away. On this bottom side as well, actually, the Strelzy here are pushing, and we see an M5 half-track coming up that's going to help pin down the Fusiliers. So this is definitely, yeah, getting really difficult now, as there isn't really much for Sombra to use to counter things like Superzi. Yes, you could maybe use like a small mortar there and the Panzerhaubitze Lorraines to pin that infantry, but it's quite slow, and it's not going to get the job done very quickly. Now this 25 pounder has revealed itself by firing at the 88. Sombra is going to be falling that back, but the 150mm mortar is going to be opening up, or 150mm Panzerhaubitze going to be opening up onto the 25 pounder here. If that can hit the mark, it will do a lot of damage, but at the moment, kind of missed all of its shots. One big issue with these Panzerhaubitzes is they really lack veterancy, so they tend to be very inaccurate. In this case, Superzi being forced back, Pioneers have arrived. So maybe now Sombra can use those Pioneers to make a dent in the other direction. But once again, it's going to take time, and these Panzerhaubitzes are going to have to make sure that the Superzi are pinned down to avoid Pioneers from taking too much damage. Now a Pioneer squad will kill off a Superzi before a Superzi kills off a Pioneer, but if there's another infantry nearby, they can really take advantage of the damage that a Superzi will do. So generally they'll still trade 1 for 1. 25 pounder opening up once again onto the 88. It looks like Herr Robert is adamant in taking that out. And there is a little bit of ground being made on the top side by this infantry advance from Sombra. But that is looking kind of desperate. I mean, if the Cromwell 6 moves up onto those top side, that's going to just get all killed off. And these Cromwell 6s, all they need to do is move up there, and that's pretty much job done. There is a Firefly on the way as well. We've got the Firefly 1C. That's going to be looking to take on this Marder. If he can pop that, then it definitely opens up a lot of opportunities on that top side. If he cannot, and he gets his Firefly killed, then that's going to give Sombra the initiative in this game and maybe allow a comeback. So Hurricanes coming in again. It looks like it's going to be 3 Hurricanes coming in for the strafing run. Honestly, that Marder might die due to all of that strafing. It's only got 2 armor at the end of the day, and it is open top. So these Hurricanes, if they continue to strafe, might have a chance to get a kill. Also, now that it's falling back, the Cromwell 6s can be aggressive and start to fire on the Marder 1 directly, and also have a chance to kill it themselves. So there's a lot of stuff here that can kill a Marder 1 when it's trying to fall back. But for now, with the infantry getting to the edge of this tree line, look at these Cromwell 6s start to go to work. This is going to be terrifying for Sombra here. Just instant pin on any squad that gets fired upon by these Cromwell 6s. Not only that, but they'll take a ton of damage. And now with the arrival of this Cromwell 4, alongside the reinforcing infantry, things are just getting really, really difficult for Sombra to maintain control without taking too many losses. And this air display from Robert is really helping him out, just control the battlefield. And that's one of the beauties about the Hurricane Mark IVs, is they can put a lot of suppression onto the ground whilst also maintaining that threat in the air. Whereas usually you'd have to go for like a bomber or like an attack aircraft in order to hit those units on the ground and do a lot of damage, or just suppress them. But in this case, the Hurricanes, they also act as fighters as well as ground fire support. So here again, Marder 1 going to get itself pinned down. Yes, the Hurricane Mark IVs are low on ammo, but if a plane came in at this point, there's going to be 3-on-1. And there's no way that Sombra is going to be able to win that air war at the moment. Not until there's quite a lot of AA investment, but considering how bleak this is looking on the front line, there isn't going to be any AA anytime soon. And all of this infantry and the ground that Sombra made, like I said, as soon as these Cromwells start getting involved, that's really going to turn things around there. The Panzer 35S goes down. We see the Marder 1 there still being pinned, and with the impending doom of the 9th Panzer heading Sombra's way, they're going to surrender. Sombra surrenders, and that is going to be victory for Herr Robert. 1,205 kills to 555 losses. It looked that way, and I think that was definitely a warranted surrender from Sombra. Now Sombra does get a second chance to use the 716th. Unfortunate to come up against the 1st Panzer in round 1. Very, very difficult for the 716th to deal with. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But either way, very nice game. I actually quite enjoyed that. It was quite short and snappy, lots of interesting stuff to talk about. Cromwell 6s, of course, winning the day, more or less. Pack 37s, Pack 40s going down to those Cromwell 6s. We even saw the B2 get killed by one of them. They are absolute king against a division like this. So yeah, just plenty of infantry kills there, really stopping the push out of Sombra. And then the Firefly came in to more or less seal the deal. Also, we do see that the Hurricane did manage to strafe to death one of the Marder 1s. So you can see just how powerful those Hurricanes can be if they're used like they were shown in this game. Just use them for both air control, but also for strafing ground forces. And yeah, that can be a bit risky in a sense, like you saw Sombra, really well timed HS-129 come out. But at the end of the day, that HS-129 didn't really do enough damage to stop Sombra from losing so many units on that top side. Anyway, nice game. Herr Robert, congratulations. Going to be moving on to round 2. Yeah, Sombra is going to be dropping down to the lower bracket for a second chance. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this first game. Like I said, I will be trying to put out this tournament 2 videos a day as much as I can. That's not every day, like I said, but basically whenever I'm not putting out other content on the channel, there'll just be 2 Still Division videos instead. So that's what I'm looking to do, and hopefully you guys are agreeable with that. Let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.